So, dear students, so in last class we have seen that the phasors can be represented by rectangular form, trigonometrical form, polar form and exponential form. Okay. So, how we are going to present it? Any phasor. So, phasors can be represented by rectangular form. Okay. So, rectangular form. What is the rectangular form? We have seen that V is equal to A plus J of B. This is the rectangular form. Next, we have seen that, so another form is a trigonometrical form. Trigonometrical form. So, in this form, what we have seen in trigonometrical, so cos and sin come in the picture. That is equal to, we can write it. Okay. So, V is equal to V into cos theta plus J of sin theta. Okay. Sin theta. This is a trigonometrical form. And coming to the another form is the polar form. Polar form. So, what is the polar form? You have represented simply whatever the voltage is equal to represented by the magnitude at an angle of theta. Simple method. And another method is the exponential method. Exponential method. In exponential method, so whatever the value is represented by with the help of the Euler's law. Okay, Euler's equation we represented that. So, that is equal e to the power of plus or minus j of theta. This is the exponential form. Okay, so that is equal we represented this equation is nothing but the cos theta plus or minus j into sin theta. Last class we discussed all things. Okay. At the same time, we have seen the some addition and subtraction of in given AC quantities. Now, in this class, so what we have seen in the previous classes, so what we have seen, that means here a rectangular form is in first case addition of two vectors we have seen. Okay. So, here in the first case addition and subtraction is done. Subtraction we have seen how the two additions takes place. So, we have seen. Okay. For example, A is equal, one vector is given. So, that is equal to 6 plus j of 8. B vector is given, that value is represented 3 minus j of 4 is given, two vectors is given. Okay. I want to add it. So, A plus B I want to add it. What is the value? In rectangular form is a very better. So, whatever the value. So, here, so we know that compare that what the equations. Okay. Last class we discussed that here. So, what is the V1 is equal to A1 plus j of B1 and V2 is equal to, we can write it A2 plus j of B2. Okay. So, now based on this one, so what we have to do? So, A1 here is a real part, B1 is a imaginary part. Real part we represented as a boy and this imaginary part is represented as a girl. Okay. Now, similarly, here is a boy and this is the girl. Okay. Now, in addition, so what we are going to do it? So, in addition V1 plus V2 we represented, V1 plus V2 we represented, simply add the Vi1 plus j of B1 plus A2 plus j of B2. Okay. Now, where is the boys A1, A2? So, group the boys together. A1 plus A2 is the boys, close it, plus J indicates the girls. Now, where is the girls? B1 plus B2. So, this is the final equation. Okay. So, this is the resultant of this value. In vector form, how we are going to represent this one? So, in this vector form represented as this boys, that is equal A1 plus A2, boys are in real axis and girls are imaginary axis. So, what is this one? B1 plus B2. Okay. So, here is a 90 degrees. Now, resultant total, so girls plus boys is equal this one, that is equal V1 plus V2 resultant voltage. Now, what is the angle? This is the theta. Then I want the what is the magnitude of V1 plus V2, this one, based on in terms of real axis, in terms of imaginary axis. So, the real value, that is equal V1 plus V2, the magnitude required, that is equal by applying the Pythagoras theorem, root of A1 plus A2 whole square plus B1 plus B2 whole square under root. So, we are going to get the magnitude. Suppose I want the angle. What is the angle here? Theta. So, what is the tan theta? Tan theta is equal to, so opposite, what is the opposite? B1 plus B2, girls patch, by boys patch, A1 plus A2. So, you know the theta, what is the theta I required? Theta is equal to tan inverse of, so B1 plus B2 divided by A1 plus A2. This is the angle. So, I can know the angle, I can know the magnitude. So, I can represent in simple way. Okay. So, these are all we calculated in previous class, dear students. This is a revision only. Okay. Now, so how we are going to these phasor vectors in the form of multiplication and division phases. So, we have seen that is the addition and subtraction of alternative quantities in this way in previous class. Now, we will see the multiplication and division phases. So, here multiplication is very easy, polar or rectangular form, multiplying their magnitudes and add their lengths in the multiplication factor. So, do not worry. So, we will see. Okay. So, first heading is the, what is the heading here? Okay. Now, multiplication that is a into multiplication, okay, and division, okay, this is a division of phases. We have to do the phases. How we are going to multiply and divide the phases, we will see in this session. Okay. Let us take one example of phasors. Now, we can take the V1 is equal to A1 plus J of B1 in rectangular form, and V2 also we taken A2 minus J of B2 is given, such that so 2 vectors is given. Now, I want to multiply these vectors. So, normally, so this multiplication and division is very easy and comfortable in polar form and exponential form, but it is somewhat difficult in rectangular form. Let us do difficult problem in rectangular form. Okay. After that, we will go to the easy methods. Okay. Now, let us see multiplication. So, the polar or rectangular form, so multiply their magnitudes. So, rectangular form, let us do rectangular form. This form is take the more time, but easy, very easy. So, already you have learned this type of the methods in mathematicals. So, what are the values is given? I want to know that here V1 is given. What is the value? A1 plus j of B1. Okay. Now, V2 is given. For example, I can take the that is the A2 minus j of B2 is given. Now, V1 into V2 I want to multiply. So, what are the value? Write it A1 plus j of B1. Dear students, minus plus, be careful, okay, into, so what is that one? A2 minus j of B2. Okay. Now, simply, so multiply this value to this one and this one. Okay. Now, write it here A1 comfortably A1 into A2. Okay. Then minus j A1 into B2. Okay. This is over. Next, coming to this one, plus j into B1 A2. Okay. Next, so go to the another one. Here, so minus value here coming j into j square. J square is equal minus 1. We are going to get the positive 1. Minus to minus positive. Then we are going to the B1 and B2. So, these are the factors. Okay. So, here is the boys batch, here is the boys batch, whereas this girls j notation, girls here. So, separate the girls batch and boys batch. Now, A1, A2 plus B1, B2, this is boys batch. Now, you can take the plus j positive, then you take the year, so B1, A2 minus A1, B2. So, these are the V1 into V2 multiplication factors. Okay. So, what is the magnitude? So, you are going to get the magnitude, this whole square plus this whole square. So, that is equal V1 into V2. So, we require the magnitude. So, under square this whole square into this one A2 plus B1 B2 whole square plus and B1 A2 minus A1 B2 whole square under root. So, these are the magnitude. What is the angle? Tan theta. So, theta is equal to tan inverse of, okay. So, this by this one, that is equal to B1 A2 minus A1 B2 divided by boys batch, girls by boys batch, okay. A1 A2 plus B1 B2, we are going to get the theta such as that we can calculate, but it is take the more time. Okay. So, dear students, simple, so very simple. So, whatever the values is given, one vector, another vector is given. Okay. So, whatever the vectors is given, simply multiply it, similar methods. So, after multiplication we are going to get the and girls batch, this is the boys batch and this is the girls batch. So, I want the magnitude, the magnitude is equal boys whole square plus girls whole square under root, I am going to the magnitude. Then theta, that is called girls by boys tan inverse, I am going to the angle. Okay. Very simple, dear students, in rectangular form. Same vectors we will solve in exponential form. You can see the what is the easiness between the rectangular form, exponential form. Okay. So, let us see. Okay. So, in exponential form, I will take the another color, exponential form, that is called the Ellis law. Okay. So, we will do. Then what is the V1 is given? So, we will see the, so here the V1 is equal to A1 plus j of B1 is given and V2 is given, that is equal to A2 minus j of B2 is given. Okay. So, this can be written as V1 e to the power of j alpha, some alpha angle I converted. So, by doing this one, I am going to exponential form, rectangular form to exponential form I converted. And here I am going to the V2 and exponential form minus j of beta. I am going to get, so this is a exponential form. Okay. So, that means here what we are going to get it. So, here I can take the black only. Now, so V1 is equal to V1 e to the power of j of alpha, V2 is equal to V2 e to the power of minus j of beta. So, these are calculation values, do not worry, alpha and beta, two just components. Now, I want to multiply it. So, here V1 into V2 I am going to convert. What is the V1? V1 e to the power of j of alpha into, okay, into V2 e to the power of minus j of beta. Whatever the values comes, just multiply it. Now, in this case, dear students, you have to remember that here in exponential form, so V1 and V2 you multiply V1 and V2, then e to the power of j of alpha into e to the power of minus j of beta. You know the mathematical, what is the addition here. So, here I am going to get it V1 and V2 and e to the power of, you can take the j is a constant out, then alpha minus beta. So, I am going to get it. So, this is a V1 into V2 value, I am going to get it, this is the equation. So, whatever the multiplication, here you are going to add it, j alpha, so j e to the power of these values, you know the mathematical values, okay, such that we are going to do here problems. That means here what we are going to get it. So, V1 V2 is a magnitude and angle is a alpha minus beta, e to the power of j into alpha minus beta, such that we can do the problems. Okay. How it is easy, whereas in rectangular form you can see. So, how we are going to do the tedious work here. So, but in case of the exponential work, so simply we are going to get the what is the magnitude and what is the angle at only in small steps. Okay. So, that is why dear students, you have to do the multiplication and division in the form of exponential form is easy as compared to the rectangular form. Okay. So, we will do the another form also. What is another form? So, we will do that another form, polar form. Polar form is a very easy. Okay. Now, polar form. So, read the polar form. What is a polar form here? Here, so what is the value is given? So, first vector is given, V1 is equal to A1 plus j of B1 is given. Then whatever this value converted into the polar form. So, this is the rectangular form to polar form, you convert it. So, after conversion of polar form, I am going to get it V1 at an angle of alpha. So, whatever the value, you write the vector, from the vector you are going to convert the polar form, some angle. Okay. So, magnitude, some angle you are going to get it, that is equal V1 is equal to V1 at an angle of alpha. Okay. Now, small, we can take small. Next, similarly V2. So, what is the V2 is given? Here A2 minus j of B2 is given. Then you convert it. So, V2 at angle of minus beta, because here minus value is coming minus beta. Whatever the value is given, simply take it. So, the V2 is equal to magnitude V2 at an angle of minus beta. Okay, so this is second equation, this is the first equation. Now multiply the V1 and V2. V1 into V2 is equal, what is the V1? V1 at an angle of alpha into V2 at an angle of minus beta. Okay, so now you know the minus beta here. Now you know this value, multiply V1 V2, and angle you are going to add it. So alpha minus beta is the final value. So that is equal to small v1 into small v2, value is this much. You can see what is the simplified method of vectors. Simply v1 v2, just simple angle, add it, alpha minus alpha plus beta. So here beta itself minus value, alpha minus beta, we are going to get it. Okay, so these are the different forms, dear students. It's very easy. Okay, so these are the multiplication we have done in different forms. One is a rectangular form, exponential form, and polar form. Okay, so let us do in a division also. Okay, so division also we will see. I think are you following? Okay, these are the methods, just keep in your mind. While doing the mathematical calculations, you can enjoy that thing. Okay, so let us do. Now in division method, or you want to see some multiplications. Okay, let us do the one multiplication also with some vectors. Okay, so how we are going to do the, for example, here you can take that multiplication. For example, here a is equal is given, a value is given in polar form, that is equal to 10 at an angle of 53.13. B is given, another vector is a magnitude 5 at an angle of minus 53.13 is given. I want to multiply these two vectors, A into B. So I am going to do it in polar form. Then simply I can write it the 10 at an angle of 53.13 into 5 at an angle of minus 53.13. Then I can multiply these two values here, 10 into 5. So 10 into 5 I am going to get some magnitude and angle. So 53.13 plus, here I am going to the minus 53.13. Okay, then what is happened? So I am going to get its magnitude is 50, 5, 10 5 is 50, and this minus this is going to 0 degrees. So this is a into B. So dear students, similarly we can do this one. Okay, what is given? A is given this value, B is this value. You want to multiply the A into B. Then A value is this much, B value this much. The polar form is given. I want to multiply this polar forms. So you multiply it. So this magnitudes multiplied this one, and angle is added here. Okay, so polar method we know that basics. Then addition of plus and minus we are going to 0. So this is a final values. That is the magnitude is a 50 and angle is a 0 in reference value. This is the multiplication of B. Okay, and you can enjoy later. Okay, now let us do that one division. Division. Division, how we are going to do it in form, different forms. Let us first we take the rectangular form. So rectangular form is only easy for addition, subtraction, but you are going to implement in division. So you are going to face the problem also. Let us do. Okay, so you want to know the methods. Now here what is a V1? V1 is equal is given the A1 plus J of B1 is given, one vector is given, and V2 is equal given and A2 plus J of B2 is given. Okay. Now, I want to division. What is the value of V1 by V2? I want to know. So, simply write it here. So, you are going to get it division. So, here V1, what is the V1? So, that is equal, I am going to write it V1 by V2 is equal to A1 plus J of B1 divided by A2 plus J of B2. Here you are going to apply your mathematical knowledge. So, I want multiply numerator denominator with help of the minus value. Here A2 minus J of B2, I am going to multiply and division by A2 minus J of B2. This is technique already known in mathematics. Okay. So, here I am going to, this value is the opposite conjugate of this value A2 minus J of B2, A2 minus, so it's a numerator and denominator. So, this will go and we are going to the same value. Okay. So, the technique you know. Now, what is the technique here? So, you are similarly you do this all things. So, what is the value you are going to the A1 A2, okay, minus J and A1 B2, okay. Next this one plus J and B1 A2, okay. J into J, that is a minus, minus to minus plus, we are going to the wherever the imaginary part becomes to the real part, then we are going to B1 B2. So, that is the numerator. Now, coming to the denominator, so A plus B, A minus B, that is A square minus B square, okay. That is called A2 whole square minus B2 whole square. So, we are going to get this value, okay. So, here these values. Now, simply write the all boys one side and girls side. So, what is the real part? A1 A2 plus B1 B2, these are the boys, okay. Next you take the minus J or plus J, you can take the whatever you require, minus J you take it. Here A1 B2, so here minus you can take the minus value B1 A2, okay. So, divided by A2 whole square minus B2 whole square. So, this is a divisions of V1 by V2, okay. Then we can represent it separate, I want to the magnitude, then I can represent it this one A1 A2 plus B1 B2 boys batch by the common property, okay. What is the common property? A2 whole square plus minus B2 whole square minus J. Similarly, A1 B2 minus B1 A2 divided by common property. What is the common property? Same, A2 whole square minus B2 whole square, okay. So, this is nothing but real part, this is but imaginary part. So, that is equal, that is the V1 by V2. Suppose I want the V1 by V2 is some magnitude is required, then similarly is nothing but A minus JB, that is called this whole square plus this under root. So, we are going to get it A1 A2 plus B1 B2 by A2 whole square minus B2 whole square, this total whole square, okay, plus here we are going to the this whole square. So, what is the factor? That is equal to A1 B2 minus B1 A2 whole square divided by A2 whole square minus B2 whole square under square, this factor, this factor. So, tan inverse we are going to the minus value. So, tan inverse is equal to tan theta is equal. So, this girls by boys, we are going to the minus that value B1 B, sorry, what is the value? A1. So, A1 B2 minus B1 A2, okay. divided by a2 whole square minus b2 whole square divided by this one a1 a2 plus b1 b2 divided by a2 whole square minus b2 whole square. Okay. So, here this will goes, then we are going to get the, so that is called a1 b2 minus b1 a2 divided by, so a1 a2 plus b1 b2, so minus is minus. Okay. Okay. Then this is the tan theta, tan inverse of theta, we are going to that tan inverse of this value. So, you can see this, dear students. So, what is the complication of these things? Simple division. So, we have taken the from this 2. So, we are going to do the, so v1 this is the one vector, this vector simply we taken here and simplified here. So, we are going to get the this value, resultant value. Suppose I want the magnitude, so I can require this form, and if the angle is required, this form. So, you can see what is the tedious work. So, easy method is easy, but we have to do the so many calculations. Instead of doing this one, so we can, this division is a polar exponential form is a very easy. Same problem we can do in exponential form. Okay, let us do. Now, exponential form. Exponential form, you can do it. Okay. So, what is the value is called? V1 is equal to, you can write it, whatever the value is given, we converted into exponential e to the power of that. So, that is equal to g of, we can take the a, alpha a. V2 is given, we converted V2 e to the power of g of b. Okay. Two vectors is given, this is a one vector, this is a second vector is given. Now, I want to do the V1 by V2, division is required. Simply V1 e to the power of, so what is the value? E to the power of j a divided by V2 e to the power of j b. Similarly, so V1 by V2, this is a vector magnitude, and exponential, what will happen? E to the power of j of a, so that will goes to the minus j of b here. So, it will goes to the numerator. Then, so what we are going to get it, that is equal V1 by V2 e to the power of, you can take the j is a constant, that is called a minus b is the answer. So, this is the magnitude, this is the angle. You can see what is the simple. So, what is the problem? Is given the 1 and 2 is given, then we simplified, we are going to get the single step. There is a simple way of doing this vectors division in the form of, in the exponential form. Okay. So, that is the beauty of doing this one. Now, you can see the polar form also. In polar form, we are going to manipulate division. Let us, the V1 is given, that is equal V1, whatever the angle is equal to alpha. V2 is given, V2 at an angle of beta, let us take. Then I want the division. So, what is the V1 by V2? I want it. Simply write it. So, V1 at an angle of alpha and V2 at an angle of beta. Then what is the value? We are going to get V1 by V2. This is the magnitude. Then what is the angle? Angle is equal to, so what is the beta? If it goes to that one, it will become the minus. So, alpha minus beta. This is a final equation. You can see how, so we are going to get the single step division. Okay. So, that is why, so dear students, you have to do the given vectors for the division and multiplication, better to choose exponential form and polar form. For addition and subtraction, better to choose rectangular form is a better. Okay. So these are the few manipulations of things. Okay. So dear students, we can do. Okay. Next is a small topic, that is a conjugative of complex number. What is the conjugative, sir? This is also very important, dear students, while doing the power calculations in our power system. Okay. So what is the conjugate? So conjugate of a complex number. What is the conjugative, first of all? For example, let us take the one vector A is equal to A plus J of B. Okay. That means if I draw the vector, okay, now A is the real axis, B is the imaginary axis. This is A, this one. This is the 90 degrees. Now if I join this one, I am going to get the capital A, this value. Angle is equal theta. Okay. Now conjugative, that means real part is the same but imaginary sign changes. That means, so conjugative of this value, real part is same, whatever the B value, that becomes to the minus B, then this value is equal, becomes the A dash. So real part is same, imaginary part is changes. So this represented by the A dash. So A dash conjugative, I can write it, real part is a positive, I can write A minus J of B is a conjugative of this vector. Okay, clear? So that means the conjugative of a complex number A is defined as one whose real part is equal to real part of A and whose imaginary part is equal to negative part of A. Okay. So the conjugative of A is denoted by the A dash, or we can simply indicate it by the A star. Okay. A star, sometimes we can say the this is one. So whatever the real part is same, but whatever the imaginary part is changes. For example, you can take the B is equal to, so here B1 minus J of B2, this value. What is the conjugate of B2? So is a conjugate of B is equal, star is equal, real part is the same, but imaginary part becomes the plus, minus 2 plus, plus 2 minus, J of B2. This is a conjugative number. Okay. So this is a good example of the one method. So what is the conjugative? Once again, the conjugative of a complex number A, here whatever the value A is defined as one whose real part is equal to real part of A, this conjugative A, and whose imaginary part of A equal to minus negative of part A, that is called plus JB minus JB becomes. Okay. So this is the conjugatives. So this is a theory part, dear students. So based on the theory, we will do the few problems. Okay. So we will do the few problems here. Let us do the few problems. In October, November 2009, one problem is given. What is the problem is given? The two given vectors are Z1 is equal to 5 minus J of 2 and Z2 is equal to minus 3 J of 8. Perform, okay, perform 1 Z1 plus Z2, add it. Perform second Z1 minus Z2. This is the question is given October number 2009. Okay, simple. Here is one complex number is given, here is another complex number is given. So, you want to add it, subtract it. Okay, so let us do. So, dear students, so you should recognize, imagine what is this vector. So, if you are doing this one, so no need this one, just remember here what is the real part is the 5 here. Okay. So, imaginary part is the minus J2, this is called this. So, 2 value. So, this is the vector that is called Z1. So, J of here minus J2, this is the angle, and in Z2 what is the value? Minus 3, that is the here. So, you are going to get is minus 3. Okay. Minus 8, that means you are going to get it here, this value. So, you are going to get is Z2, this value is equal to minus 3, and this value is we are going to get the what is the value? Minus J of minus 8. Okay. So, this is the angle. So, we are going to get it 90 degrees, this is the angle phi 2. So, the Z2, this is the Z2. So, these are the vectors you are assumed. So, if you required, just assumed inside, otherwise just neglect it. So, physically you assume it. So, vector is in the 4th coordinate, the vector is here also minus no 3rd coordinate. If you want to see it, otherwise do not this one. Okay, do not panic. So, this no need to remember. So, simple, whatever the values is given here, simple, take it. So, let us do that one. Simple, what is the value is given? Addition, first addition is given, where we are going to do it. Okay, addition. What is the Z1? Addition is the Z1 plus Z2. Okay, now what is the Z1? Z1 is called 5 minus J of 2. Here 5 boys, 2 girls. Here plus. What is the Z2? Another family. So, here we are going to do the minus, 3 boys and 3 girls. You are going to get it. Then this over. Simplify it. 5 minus J of 2 minus 3 minus J of 8. Now combine the boys. Here 3 boys. Here is a 2 boys. Combine. Plus 5 minus 3. So, we are going to the 2 boys only. Here girls minus 2 minus of J. So, we are going to the 10. So, this is the addition Z1 plus Z2 over. Okay. So, this is the answer. Now, you are going to get it. Suppose this is enough. If you want the magnitude is required. So, what is the magnitude? So, Z1 plus Z2. It is not asking, but you should know. That is what is the 2 whole square, okay, plus 10 whole square under root. So, we are going to get the magnitude. And what is the angle? So, theta is equal to tan inverse of, okay. So, minus 10 by 2. So, we are going to the angle also if required. So, up to this is enough. Okay. So, this is a magnitude, this angle. So, we know this thing. So, we are going to get the same values. Now, second, what is this one? Instead of here minus, you keep it. What is that one? So, Z1 minus Z2. What is the Z1? Z1 we are going to get it. What is the value? 5 minus J of 2. Okay. This is the Z1 minus bracket. What is the Z2? So, minus 3 minus J of 8. Okay. Then, so simple 5 minus J of 2 minus 2 minus plus 3 plus J of 8. Now you know the picture in boys and girls. Combine the boys, 5 plus 3, 8 boys. Now what is happen? The 2 girls and 3, 8 girls in the other family. So combine it. So minus plus, then we are going to plus j of 6. So this is the answer. That's enough. Okay. For this one, 3 marks. So will you do? Yes, it's a very easy. Okay. So this is a addition and subtraction with help of this thing. Okay. So we will do the another problem also. Okay. So what we have given, dear students, you can see here. So the problem is given. So here, so two given vectors are z1 is equal to 5 minus j of 2, z2 is equal to minus 3 minus j of 8 for form. So z1 plus z2 addition for form z1 minus z2. So whatever the a rectangular form is given, addition is a better. So I substituted, here is the z1, here is the z2 added plus. So I am going to simple add the real parts one side, imaginary part another side. So I am going to this is the result. And second case, I am going to get it z1 minus z2. Here also we taken the minus here and simplified. I am going to get the real part and imaginary part. This is the answer. Okay. So if you know the answers, that is a very easy to understand relations. Okay. So 3 marks easily we are going to get it. Let us do the another problem. So that is November December 2003. So another important problem. Okay. So by doing the some simple problems, you may get the some confidence on how to do the problems. Okay. What is the problem here given? So November December, so 2003 is given. What is the is given? Perform the following operations and put the results in a polar form. Okay. Whatever the values is comes with the different forms, it converted into the polar form is asking. Okay. So here a is given, some vector is given, that is equal 6 plus j of 8, rectangular form is given, and b is given, that is equal to 3 minus j of 4 is given. Okay. This vectors is given, 2 vectors is asking what? 1, that is equal a plus b, second one a minus b, third one a into b, and fourth one a division of b. So all operations will take place with help of this theory. Okay. So this is the problem is given, a vector is given, b vector is given. Okay. So here let us do, first of all addition subtraction is easy here. So whatever the vector first is given, so a vector is given first 6 plus j of 8. Okay. So this vector better to convert into the polar form. He asked the polar form na. So what is the polar form? 6 whole square plus 8 whole square under square. We are going to the magnitude, that is equal, or otherwise you can convert directly in your scientific calculators, rectangular to polar. Then we are going to get the polar form. Okay. So 10 at an angle of 53.13. Dear students, so here whatever the this is a rectangular form. Now I converted to the polar form. Simply in calculators R to P conversion, we are going to get the magnitude of the angle. Otherwise 6 whole square plus 8 whole square underscore, we are going to do the 10, and tan inverse of 8 by 6, we are going to do the 53.13. Okay. Now B also he converted better. So whatever the vegetables taken from the market, first you process it, make it clear for the for doing the kitchen works. Okay. So B is equal to is given 3 minus j of 4. Okay. Then what is happened here, convert in the rectangle to polar. Then I am going to get it 5 at an angle of minus 53.13 I am going to get it. These are the conversion. Readily I make it site. Now, so these two forms are useful for subtraction, sorry, multiplication, division is the better, and these two methods are useful for this method. That is why I made it site for my reference purpose. Let us do that one. Now, what is the A plus B? So, addition is the rectangular method, is better. What is the rectangular method? A is 6 plus j of 8 plus what is the B? 3 minus j of 4. Okay. Now, what we are going to get here? What is the boys? 6 boys, one family, 3 boys, another family. Total boys are 9. Okay. Here 8 girls, other family is 4 girls. So, minus value. So, we are going to get the plus j of 4. So, this is enough. Now, what are the value we got it? 9 plus j of 4 is a rectangular form. We asking the everything should be converted to the polar form. So, in calculators, just pressing the rectangle to polar form, you are going to get it. This is the polar form, that is equal 9.85 at an angle of 23.96. It is a very easy, students, just a conversion one with the scientific calculators. Okay, that means addition, subtraction, addition, I am going to 9 plus j of 4 and it converted in the polar form. So, 9.85 is the magnitude, the angle is at 23.96. Okay, clear. So, first part is over, this is over. Now, I am going to the second part. What is the second part here? A minus B. Okay, A minus B. What is the A? 6 plus j of 8. This is a take the minus what is the B? 3 minus j of 4. Okay. Now, what is the 6 plus j of 8 minus 3 minus into minus plus, okay, j of 4. Now, add the boys and girls. 6 minus 3, 6 boys and minus 3 boys. What is the value? 3. So, girls are adding here. So, plus j of 12. So, this is the final answer. Now, we convert into rectangle to the polar. So, after conversion, I am going to get this 12.37 at an angle of 75.96 degrees. So, second also I completed with the help of my rectangular form. Now, I am going to do the multiplication with my this polar forms. Okay. So, I can do that one, third form. So, A into B. Okay. What is the A? A is equal to 6 plus j of 8 into B 3 minus j of 4. So, I know that by multiplication it will take the tedious work a long time. Instead of, so I converted, because I have the experience, I converted what are the value. So, I converted the polar form 10 at an angle of 53.13, this value, and this value is the 5 at an angle of minus 53.13. I got it just by using the calculator. Now, multiplication. So, what is the multiplication here? So, multiply these two magnitudes, 10 into 5. Okay. Then angle, add it. So, this angle plus theta 1 plus theta 2, na, addition. So, 53.13 plus, so here minus here going to plus, that is equal, you can write it the minus 53.13. So, this value goes to 0. Then 5 into 3 is a 50 at an angle of 0 degrees, that is equal A into B. So, I got third also. What is asking? Third is also completed. Now, finally, I am going to the A by B. Okay. Now, what is how we are going to do it? So, A dash by B. Okay. So, what is the A? A is equal 6 plus j of 8 divided by 3 minus j of 4. I know how to do this one, but it will take the more time. That is why I converted polar form. So, what is that one? So, 10 at an angle of 53.13 and this one 5 at an angle of minus 53.13. Got these values. So, simple. So, what is the value here? I am going to get it. So, 5 ones are 5 twos are. So, it will goes to the upper. So, then 2 at an angle of 53.13. So, if minus 2 it will goes to the upper side, it becomes the positive. So, 53.13. Then I am going to get it. What is the value? So, nearly 2 into 106, 53, 106 point, this is a 26. So, this is a division. Okay. So, division I am going to get it 2 at an angle of 106.26. So, I completed this also. Okay, it's completed this also. So, we have done a plus b, a minus b in rectangular form and a into b and a division by b in the polar form. So, these are the we have done. Okay. So, similarly, we do the remaining problems. So, what you have seen, simple substitution of these values. Okay. Okay. Let us do the another problem. It's October, November 2011. Is another important problem is given. What he has given that two currents I1 and I2 are given by the expressions. Okay. Here is some is complicated is given. I1 is equal to 10 sine 314 t plus 5 by 4 amperes is given, one current, and another current also given that 8 sine 314 t minus 5 by 3 amperes is given. Okay, two vectors is given. What is asking that find A I1 plus I2 and B I1 minus I2 in J notation is asking question. Okay. So, what is asking? So, two currents I1 and I2 are given by the expression I1 is equal 10 sine 314 t plus 5 by 4 amperes and I2 is equal 8 sine 314 t minus 5 by 3 amperes. Find A is equal to I1 plus I2 and B is equal to I1 minus I2 using J notation. Okay. So, very easy, no problem, do not worry. Okay. So, just apply the what we have seen basics. So, here whatever the current is given here, just convert into our form. What is the maximum value here? So, here what is the maximum? 10 maximum. Okay. Here what is the maximum? 8. What is the angle you are going to calculate here? So, here that means the 5 by 4, 5 means 180. Okay, by 4. So, we are going to get how much? So, nearly that is a 45 degrees. Then here the 180 by 3. So, we are going to the 60 degrees. Okay. So, that means you can whatever the value is given. So, here I can write it I1, I can write it in the form of polar form. So, I1, whatever the I1 is given? I1 is given, so 10 sine bracket 314 t plus 45 degrees is given. Okay. So, that is simply converted into, so I can raise the 10 is the magnitude at an angle of 45 degrees, converted, simple. Okay. Now, I2 similarly convert it, 8 sine 314 t minus 60 degrees here. So, whatever the value we convert it, that is equal, we are going to get, so what is the value, magnitude is 8 at an angle of minus 60. So, here I1 value is given such that 10 at an angle of 45 degrees and I2 value is given at an angle of 8 at an angle of minus 60. Okay. So, asking it's a polar form. So, better to convert this form into rectangular form with calculators. Okay. So, convert this polar to rectangular and this polar to rectangular. Then simply I1 plus I2 you can do it, I1 minus I2 you can do it. Very easy. This is a basic thing. Okay. So, otherwise you have to do it manually. So, how you are going to do the manually? So, without conversion this polar to rectangular form, otherwise you have to do this one. What is that one? I1 plus I2 is equal to, so you know the calculators, better to use that calculators to save the time. Otherwise you should know the procedure. What is that one? So, I1 is equal to 10 at an angle of 45, okay, plus 8 at an angle of minus 60. So, you convert it to that form. So, 10 we know that angle cos 45 plus g of sine 45. Okay. Now, plus this is over. This is written in the form this one in the trigonometrical form. Now, we convert, this is also same, 8 into the cos 60, okay, minus g of sine 60, you are going to get it. Okay. Here the cos is a minus, no problem. So, these are the values. Now, simply whatever the values, the cos 45, whatever the cos 45, you can write it 10 cos 45, you are going to get it. So, 0.707 plus g of sin 45 also 707, 707, okay, and plus 8 cos 60, cos 60 is equal to root 3 by 2, that is equal, we are going to sorry, cos 60, no, so we are going to get it. So, here cos 60 here 1 by 2 na, and sin 60 root 3 by 2. Okay. Now, 8 cos 60 is equal to, we are going to get the 40 so cos 5 minus g of sin 60 root 3 by 2, okay, 0.866. Simple, this is a very simple, dear students. Now, whatever the value, you multiply this one, okay. So, how we are going to get it? So, 10 into 0.77, so we are going to get it 11.07 plus 10 into this one, same j into 11 point, so we are going to get the same, okay. So, sorry, okay. So, here okay, okay, just okay. Now, simply multiply it, 10 into 7.7. What is the 10? So, that you are going to get that. So, here you multiply this one. Okay. So, that is equal to 10 into 0.7. So, we are going to do the 10 into 0.707 plus j into 10 into 0.707. Okay. So, simply multiply it, plus similarly 8 into 0.5 minus j into 8 into 0.866. So, by multiply this one, so we are going to get it in the form of simply by adding here real part and imaginary part. So, this is the real part, this is real part, this is imaginary part, this is imaginary part. So, we are going to get it nearly 11.07 plus j of 0.142, this is the imaginary part. Okay. So, this is the final answer, dear students. What is that one? I1 plus I2 current is equal in the form of the rectangular form. Suppose if you want to convert in the polar form, by using your calculators, simply convert it 11.07 at an angle of 0.735 degrees. This is a addition of two currents. Okay. So, similarly, you can do the negative values. So, what is the negative value you are going to get it? So, if you want to write it in the sine form, so that is equal to, what is the, we can write it 11.07. So, that is in the form of V max sine omega t you want to write it. So, that is equal to 0.07 sine, that is equal to 314 t plus 0.735 degrees. This is equal to I1 plus I2 of instantaneous currents. Okay. So, this is the problem, I1 plus I2. Similarly, you can do the I1 minus I2. Okay. So, how you are going to do it? Similar way. So, whatever the value, simply multiply. So, 10 at an angle of 45 degrees minus 8 at angle of minus 60. So, you convert into similar form, you convert it. So, you are going to get it finally. So, similar way you do it, then you are going to get it 14.33, okay, at an angle of 77.62 degrees. Okay. This is the value. So, if you want to write the similar way, then you write it the 14.33 sine 314 t plus 77.62 degrees. This is the I1 minus I2. Okay. So, this is a one problem, dear students. Okay. Similar way, we do the remaining all problems in our syllabus. Okay. Very easy. If you are doing the practice, you will practice more problems, you can enjoy it. Okay. So, dear students, go through the remaining all problems. Okay. Thank you for listening my class.